In our lesson today, we are still continuing with elementary differential and integral calculus. And in this tutorial question, we are going to look at question 36 and 37. Now, the instruction to solve question 36 and 37 reads, the gradient function of a curve is given by dy dx equals to 3x squared minus 2 at the points minus 1 and 3. Then in question 36, it says find the equation of the normal to the curve. Then question 37, find the equation of the tangent to the curve. Now there are two things that I mentioned here I would like us to focus on. The first one is the normal to the curve, and the next one is the tangent to the curve. What is a tangent to a curve? Now, if I draw a curve this way, and then I draw a straight line to touch the curve at a point, okay? So this line that touches the curve at this point is known as the tangent, okay? Now let us assume that the gradient of this tangent is m1, which we can calculate from the curve given to us, which is the y dx equals to 3x squared minus 2. Now, what do we mean by normal? The normal is a straight line that is drawn to pass through that point of contact between the tangent and the curve, and that line makes angle 90 degrees with the tangent. So this is the normal to the curve, all right? And the gradient of this normal, let's call it m2. Now the relationship between the m1 and m2 is that their product m1 m2 will give us minus 1, and this is what we are going to use in getting the equation of the tangent of the normal to the curve. Now let us start to answer this, which we have already started, question 36. Now the first thing we are going to note is to get our m1. So our m1 is actually dy dx, and that is a differential, the derivative of a given function, which gives us 3x squared now minus 2. So if we know the value for x, we can be able to get the value for m1. Now how do we get the value for x? From the question, we are told that minus 1 and 3, this is the point through which the gradient is located, and it is located at that point where x is equals to what? Minus 1. So we are going to put our x equals to minus 1 here. Okay, so it means that if we plug it into this equation, we are going to have 3 into minus 1 squared minus 2, and in solving this, we are going to have 3 multiplied by 1, because minus 1 squared is 1, then minus 2. Now 3 times 1 is 3 minus 2. We are going to have 1. So which means that the first gradient, m sub 1, is going to give us 1. Okay, so we can now be able to get the m2, because bringing this to this particular expression here or equation, we know that m1 multiplied by m2 will give us minus what? 1. So if m1 is 1, it means 1 times m2 to give us minus 1. Therefore, our m2 is equals to what? Minus 1. So now that we know the value for m2 as minus 1, how can we get the equation of the normal? We can get the equation of the normal by, first of all, writing the equation of a straight line, which is y minus y sub 1 equals to m, in this case m sub 2, then into bracket x minus what? X sub 1. And you may want to say, hey, where do we get our y sub 1 and x sub 1 from? You don't need to panic, because right here in the question, it is given to us. Our x sub 1 is minus 1. Our y sub 1 is 3. So we can rewrite this equation as y minus this sub 1 here is 3, then equals to m sub 2, which is minus 1, into x minus into bracket minus 1. So what we simply did is to take this value of x and y and plug it into this linear and general form for linear equation. So from this place now, we are going to have y minus 3 to equals minus 1 times this is minus x, minus 1 times this is plus, then into bracket minus 1. And if we solve this, we are going to have minus x minus 1. And that is what is going to give to us. So we know that y minus 3 equals to minus x minus 1. So we bring the minus x to this side. It becomes y plus x equals to, we take our minus 3 to this side. It becomes plus 3 minus 1. And eventually we are going to have y plus x to equals to 2. And this is the equation of the normal. Now let's quickly dive into the second question. We can rule this line here. Now in the second question, which is question 37, we are asked to get and find the equation of the tangent. Now we already know that our m1 is equals to 1 based on what we have gotten from this part here. So we are going to introduce the general equation of a linear linear equation. We have y minus y1 equals to what? M in this case sub 1, open bracket, x minus what? X sub 1. So here will give us y minus, the value for y we already know it to be 3, then equals to 1 multiplying into x minus, open bracket, minus 1 squared. Now we are going to write this as y minus 3 equals to, if we use 1 to multiply x, it gives us x, minus times minus is plus, and 1 times plus 1 is plus 1. So moving this plus x to this side, we have y minus x equals to, move your minus 3 to this side, it gives you plus 3 plus 1. So definitely we have x, y minus x to equals to 4. And this is going to give us the answer to the second question.